Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and we are back with a metal vinyl update. We've got 4 thrashy, classic, original pressings here to talk about. 4 records only, so it should be a quick update. Let's go. In the background, we are listening to the new-ish EP from Evoker, Australian band, ripping black thrash, very evil stuff you can hear there in the background. Pretty new band. I think they've just had this and one demo before the EP. They got the guys there, fold out J card. Really good stuff, good fun, solid, evil, ripping, deathy black thrash. You can hear it chugging away, it's good stuff. Evoker. What we're going to start off talking about today is Atomkraft. This is the first Atomkraft that I have ever bought. I have heard about the band for quite some time, but never managed to get anything. And then this somewhat obscure variant came up. I'll talk about this. So Atomkraft, this release came out in 1987, I think. It's a compilation. The British band, sometimes sort of thrash metal, mainly speed metal, been kicking around since 1981. Released their first album, Future Warriors, in 1985. And after that, 86, came the EP called Queen of Death, followed quickly in 87 by Conductors of Noise. So what we've got here is a Polish compilation, the 2 EPs, one on each side, and yeah, that's it. You get both EPs for the price of one. I got this on Discogs for essentially the price of postage. It was ridiculously cheap. I'm very, very happy with picking this up. It's been beaten up a bit, but the cover undersells the record inside. We'll get there in a second. So the band, there's a lot of venom in their sound, which makes sense for the era. British band, mid 80s, and that's kind of how they open up Queen of Death. The first song on the first EP on the first side. The second track, we do have the tracks here. There's the band. Second track, Protector. That's bordering on an early example of black thrash. Like the trem riffs you can hear under the wall of noise is really, really good. It's really quite a fast song. Third track, Demolition, changes it up. Starts off like a power ballad kind of thing, then finds that really heavy, chuggy groove that sort of arcs way back to Black Sabbath. And then the fourth track on this one, the last track, Mode 3, it's a instrumental. It's like a sort of Spanish guitar, twin guitar thing. Really kind of tasteful, really nice. Rounds out the EP. And then the other side, the Conductors of Noise, it's kind of a similar thing yet again. Production's a bit different, but they haven't radically changed or anything. So the vocalists on these 2 EPs was Ian Swift, who was the singer for the Satan demos way back in 82 or something like that, 83. And he took over from Tony Dolan, I think is his name, who just remains on bass. I'm not sure who's who in the photo there, but anyway, he just remains on bass going forward from the debut. So he did vocals on the first album. The Ian Swift guy has a bit of a Lemmy Motorhead kind of thing going on. Let's take a look at the LP. It's just black, but it's very clean. Absolutely immaculate stuff. So I was really happy about picking this one up. It's on 10 press or something like that. I don't know. As I said, it's a Polish pressing. So not too sure on the rarity on it, but that's Atomkraft. Next up, from 1990, we get Re-animator, Condemned to Eternity. Really, really dig the artwork on this one. Got a bit of a Repka feel. Very cool, very much at the time. UK thrash band that drinks deep from the Bay Area, it's got to be said. But it's just arriving a few years late to the party. This thing came out in 1990. Thrash was not in its prime. 1990, that's for sure. The bigger bands were starting to change their direction a bit. There wasn't that many in the way of newer bands deciding that thrash is what to do. It was death metal was the thing to do at that time, 1990. But anyway, easy comparison here. Testament, that's rings so heavily true in this. There's also some Death Angel, obviously a bit of Metallica. There's the guys there, looking very British. That guy looks a bit like Barney Greenway, but then so does this guy over here. It's just the puffy hair, I suppose. Mid to fast pace, heavy chugging riffs, sort of soaring solos, like it's got the whole deal. Driving drums, the bass is pretty audible. Everything on paper seems pretty awesome. The vocals, probably the least interesting part about it, kind of uninspired. They're a bit like that first album from Defiance. The vocals are just about tolerable. Even Testament's The Legacy, Chuck Billy wasn't really on top of his game yet. It's fine, but Re-animator at this point is kind of similar to that. They're serviceable vocals. How about we use that term? There's some, it's low. It's not really got much in the way of melody. It's just very one tone, occasional gang shouts in the background, that kind of thing. Anyway, it does the job. It's just a good headbanger. This album's just a good headbanger, basically. Through and through. Very bravely, the last track, Condemned to Eternity on side 1, is an 8-minute instrumental, which is an interesting thing to put on your debut album when you're a UK thrash band in 1990. But it's really good. The guitarists know exactly what they're doing. Actually very impressive little instrumental, so 8 minutes kind of flew by when I was listening to it. The band did 3 albums. I haven't heard anything past this. And the band members, I don't think, did anything besides Re-animator. So there you go, one of those bands. There's the inner lyric-y sleeve, another glorious photo of the band on some kind of construction works. Take a look at the record. This came out on Under One Flag, so just a black LP. Pretty good, Nick. I got this one in, and yeah. Take a look at the band again and the lyrics. Yeah, just solid stuff. Obviously this LP's been quite loved. It's got a bit of ringwear. That's fine with me, not a problem. Re-animator, Condemned to Eternity, pretty good, solid thrash. Next up, I was very, very happy to get this one. This is Despair, History of Hate from 1988. Take a look at that fantastic hand-painted cover. You do not get cover art like that much anymore. You've got to go to death metal albums, dark, cavernous death metal bands. They might do art like this now, but man, that's really, really quite special. I absolutely love that cover art. So yeah, these guys were really technical thrash, like very, very tasteful, pretty stellar guitar melodies with really good underlying riffage in there as well. So it's got a good chug, but it's really good leads. Some pretty creative bass and drums because it is technical thrash, and therefore the bass is up there as well. It plays in the mid pace, speeds up from time to time, has some solid groove, though there's like blasts in this final track here on side 2, which is hilariously called Joy Division. I had a good giggle when I read that. That's got some sort of proto blast going on there, which is kind of surprised me when I was hearing it, but it fit in really well. It's good stuff. Think of bands like Death Row, get a good idea of what you're getting with Despair, Vendetta, even a little bit of Altars of Madness, just a tiny bit Altars of Madness, Morbid Angel, bit of even smaller amount of Nocturnus the Key. It's nowhere near death metal. It's really thrash, but that technical thrash, I did mention it had some blasts, and that kind of thing just reminded me of the very early American death metal. Interesting mix of band members in this one. Not sure if I could probably not identify who's who, but anyway, you can look at the photo. The drummer, Marcus Freewold, I think is how you say the name, he's done a couple of the recent Sodom albums. You get the Polish guitarist, his name is Waldemir Sorichta, probably got that wrong. He went on to do Grip Incorporated, not a band I ever liked, but I do remember their albums. Most interesting, though, out of all the members is the vocalist, Robert Kampf. Not a name that I recognise, but he went on to own and found, where is he on the picture here? This guy here. And then obviously release on his own label, Century Media Records. So yeah, this is the founder of Century Media Records, his band, Despair. I thought that was pretty neat. So yeah, there you go, there's the record. Take a look at the inner again. There's the guys in the band, so clearly a 5-piece. Lyrics there's the hilarious Joy Division. Really good stuff. As I said, it's like technical thrash. Definitely if you like Vendetta and Death Row, you're going to like Despair. So yeah, check it out. Last one we're going to take a look at here, this is Purgatory, Tied to the Tracks from 1986. Another one with some really fun artwork there. I really dig it. Kind of cheesy, kind of a little bit immature, but you know, I think it's really nice. There's many bands called Purgatory from the time. These are the ones from Ohio. As I said, came out in 1986. And it's the only thing they ever did, the only album anyway, only full length. It's sort of power metal infused, mainly speed metal. Kind of thrashy, but it's mainly speed metal with the power metal sort of tinges in it. Chuggy riffs, has a, you know, the power metal comes from some of like these glammy pinch harmonic squeals that you hear, kind of wails. They're fun. Some really ripping solos that would please fans of like Metal Church, Chastain, another band I thought of when listening to Purgatory. It's got some faster stuff, some mid-pace stuff, but there's, you know, one of the tracks here, Crush the Black Cross, kind of a Christian or lyric thing there, Crush the Black Cross, but that would fit into Show No Mercy pretty closely. It's, you know, almost early Slayer. It's got some slower tracks like the last one, Shattered Vision, which nowhere near a power ballad, but definitely more restrained traditional metal. Good stuff again. Vocals have got a bit of a grit, but you know, he still hits high notes similar to something like Overkill. I reckon Overkill's a good comparison to what you get with Purgatory. The inside we'll take a quick look at. There's the band, some lyrics. We will talk about those lyrics in a second. Here's the LP. This is on Auburn Records. There's a couple of variants of this one, but this is the first press, as far as I can tell. Let's talk about some of those lyrics. I have them here. Ahem. I keep going faster, running round the world, causing some disaster, laying down some girls. Yes, there's some pretty mid-80s metal lyrics there, which, you know, I did say there was a tiny bit of glam in there. I think it's in the lyrics. And that Crush the Black Cross, which is practically Christian metal lyrics, opens with gang shouts of crush, crush, crush. And then, you wait for this is brilliant. Raped by the night, take the Prince of Darkness and become the devil's wife. Well, I say screw that. Kill the sons of Satan, send the blade into their fat. And that is the lyrics to Purgatory. But yeah, don't let that put you off whatsoever. It's fun, really fun speed metal, bit of power metal, tiny bit of thrash metal. Good fun, Purgatory, tied to the tracks, and like I said, the only thing they did, maybe it was the lyrics that stopped people demanding a second album. I don't know, but a nice one and done, very happy with it. And yeah, that's it for this video. 4 OG pressings from the 80s, some new metal in my collection. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up, hit subscribe, and check out this thing and that thing, whatever they may be. And thanks for watching.